Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another Total Extreme Wrestling video. This is week 3 ahead of Survivor Series, ahead of NXT TakeOver War Games. Last week, War Games was announced the Viking Raiders are back in NXT. This week, we'll see the first ever match that they're back in NXT, so it's going to be really, really good. You've got continuing this brand warfare. It's Smackdown versus Raw, and it's going to be a big week. We open up with Team Raw in the ring for Monday Night Raw, so let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Okay, Monday Night Raw, the first show of this week's episode, and we open up with Team Raw in the ring. Of course, SmackDown last week ended with Big E Langston proving to be the decisive moment as SmackDown took control perhaps of this feud. Team Raw are going to have a little bit of a team talk to start us off. So that's where we're going to start with. If I've done it correctly, we would have gone full screen now. Back onto the game. If I've done it correctly, if it works. And I feel like it hasn't. And it hasn't. That is disappointing. Now it will. There we go. Right. I think this is a pretty good start to the show. 77 rated segment. Well, there's a lot to digest from this. But the idea I had in my head, you got Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Orton and the Street Profits out in the ring. They're discussing how things have been going as a team going into the pay-per-view, the Survivor Series pay-per-view. And Drew says, look, last week was good and bad. Andrade, you got a big victory. Fair play. Well done. A big victory. But before he goes any further, and Randy Orton cuts him off, says, yeah, he got a big victory, but then we got our asses handed to us. That's what happened. We got our asses handed to us, and that ain't what Team Raw is about. That is not what my team is all about. Randy Orton claiming he's captain here. Yeah, whatever. He says, you know what? Tonight, we're going to prove what Team Raw is all about. And he puts out the challenge. It's going to be Randy Orton and Andrade against 2 members of Team SmackDown who come up on the Tron, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman accept. That's a big main event setup. 77, good start to the show. Orton has invented a new catchphrase that will likely boost his ability on the microphone as he now has a go-to line. Good. Everyone did quite well. Montez Ford was the one that was struggling, interestingly. But apart from that, pretty good. We'll go from there into 6-man action. It's going to be Drew and the Street Profits against 3 Monday Night Raw heels. 4 a 76. That's done a lot better than I thought it would, thanks to Drew McIntyre's amazing performance. An 88 from Drew. Wow. And of course, they do defeat Murphy Benjamin and Jinder Mahal. We dropped in there. They got time for this. We thought with Drew in the matchup, the Street Profits aren't bad. The Disciples aren't bad. But with Drew in particular in the matchup, this could be carried. And it was with the 88, as you can see. Second best performer is Montez Ford with a 62. Murphy 58. Angelo Dawkins 57. Jinder with a 55. And Shelton Benjamin with a 52. But it was all about Drew here. He gets the win. And a big part of Team Raw. The powerhouse, really, of Team Raw. And he will be the big powerhouse too. Kevin Owens is backstage in his locker room and he looks furious. He's interrupted by Charlie Caruso looking for an interview. And Owens doesn't even acknowledge she's there. He's just staring out furious, just silent. We only show it for a minute or so just to show that Owens is here. And Owens is looking for revenge after he was attacked last week by AJ Styles and his new cronies. That's Angel Garza and Austin Theory. 78 segment. Good stuff from KO. From there, we went to a 8-woman tag match. We had a bit of time left to fill, so we decided to put this in here to continue the Charlotte and Nia feud. And actually, it didn't do too badly. A 65, carried by Charlotte 68. Other good performances, really, you'd say Peyton with a 57 is pretty good. Natalya 56. Not great from Nia, I would say, for a 52. She could do better than that. Liv 49, not fantastic. But apart from that, still pretty good stuff. And we got the victory here. Nia Jax has pinned Natalya to get the victory inside 10 minutes. She's a monster. She needs to look like a monster. Even if she's not going to win the feuds now and again. It works. And Charlotte and Nia will have some sort of big gimmick match at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. If we can fit it in, but that's the plan. The Hurt Business cut a promo on Cedric Alexander and Apollo. This is more about MVP. He cuts the promo here and he says, over the past few weeks, they've been fighting tooth and nail with Cedric, with Apollo, and now the AOP. But they do think one thing, and they do know one thing, that one of these men has Hurt Business written all over them. MVP makes it clear that he wants someone to join the Hurt Business, and he even says, "You know what the offer is," to the camera, and walks away. So has MVP already spoken to someone here? Is there an offer already out there? What's happening here with Cedric and Apollo in particular? Gonna be interesting. The Hurt Business were in action though, a 67 rated matchup, so this is really good actually. For a 63 from Bobby, 53 from Humberto, Damien 55, Akira 51. To get a 67 is a bit of a surprise, but a very good surprise. It's a good win for the big brutes, Lashley and Priest over Tozawa and Carrillo. Yeah, simple TV Raw stuff. They had 15 minutes, put on a good match. Well done. No complaints at all. We go backstage to see the WWE Champion arriving with Garza and Theory in tow. They're asked by Caruso what's going on with this alliance, and they don't even answer her either because they're heels and they're, well, very bad people. Styles, Garza and Theory are here. 73, good stuff. Sami Guevara was in action for a 50 rated matchup, which is a little bit disappointing, but you've got to remember Brendan Vink's in there with him, and it's a 44 performance from Brendan. So Sami 60 carried it to a 50. It's fine, it is what it is, but a 6-minute matchup is all they needed. I just wanted to get Sami another victory. Last week he was part of the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contendership for the United States Championship. So I wanted to get Sami back on winning ways again tonight. And we're going to use Sami a bit more than ever later on in the show. So 50, pretty good stuff. Afterwards, he gets on the mic and he cuts a promo on Seth Rollins for 52. Seth won the match last week, and Sami Guevara says, "You know what, last week was my first opportunity here on Monday Night Raw, but it won't be my last. And I do know one thing, Seth Rollins last week got lucky. Next time we're in the ring, he will not get lucky again." Sami Guevara making it clear that Seth Rollins needs to be careful. There's a target there. 52 for the promo. Not bad from Sami for his pop, really. Not bad. AJ Styles in action for a 76. Great matchup, considering Titus O'Neil is in there. So, yeah. Again, we had a little bit of time once I'd filled out the card, so we put the WWE Champion in action to get him a win. Again, just about 6 minutes. AJ getting the victory. 80 rated performance from him. Simple. We'll move on. It's quite simple. The WWE Champion gets a win on TV because we had time to give him a win. Simple as that. Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black are backstage being asked about their matchup tonight with the Forgotten Sons. We're going to put Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black together as a team tonight only. Both men have United States Championship ambitions. Of course, Aleister Black is the champion. Rey Mysterio was part of the Fatal 4-Way last week. Lost, but he was part of it. So you can sort of put them together, but sort of take note of the fact that it could have been Rey versus Aleister at Survivor Series. It's not, but it could have been. And yeah, as a babyface team tonight, that could work. 70-rated segment. The match itself then against the Forgotten Sons. So that will bring it down, but Aleister hopefully will carry it. 69, so that's not bad. And Aleister did his best at carrying it there. Aleister Black did his very, very best. An 82 rated performance from him. Rey 62 is a little low, but he's not got great momentum, and that's probably my fault. Well, it's no one else's, is it? Aleister Black pinned Wesley Blake with the end of the line, the Black Mass. We're getting a victory here for the United States Champion. We're getting also a victory for Rey Mysterio, which I think is important because, again, his momentum's not great. And the Forgotten Sons are there to lose. That is what happens. Simple stuff. After the matchup, Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio are attacked by the Disciples, Murphy, Benjamin, and Seth Rollins. It's 3-on-2, and they're attacked until out comes the save of Sami Guevara. 70 rated segment here. Sami looked dreadful, so that's good, but it's fine. So hopefully Seth can carry him to something. Sami Guevara earlier tonight mentioned Seth Rollins winning last week, so it made sense to get him out here again. Again, these are 4 men involved in the United States Championship division, I guess is the best way to say it. So yeah, it's going to lead to a 6-man tag next week. That's what we're going to go towards. Right, Kevin Owens is backstage again, and we again do the same thing of He's been asked about a comment on AJ Styles' attack last week alongside Austin Theory and Angel Garza. And Kevin Owens is still fuming, but finally he seems to snap out of it and he stands up and he walks out the room and the cameras follow him. And you do that old Attitude Era type stuff where it's King saying, wait a minute, is he coming to the ring? He's coming out here. He's coming out here. Just as we go to break, Kevin Owens is on his way to the ring. Of course, Kevin Owens is currently on the injured shelf, technically, so we can't put him in a match, but we can put him in segments and get away with it. So, Kevin Owens calls out AJ Styles, 68, not doing great here. He calls out AJ Styles and his band of bandits, I guess. That's not going to be a name for them. That's a terrible name. Garza and Theory come out with Styles, but Owens is this fighting babyface that takes on anyone at any time, no matter who they are, no matter what the situation, and this is no different. Kevin Owens is here to fight. So AJ Styles doesn't cough, because that'd be weird. He enters the ring because he's got Garza and Theory by his side. He's confident Owens won't attack, but Kevin Owens will attack, and he hits a stunner straight away to Styles. He immediately gets beaten down though by Garza in Theory. Styles finally gets to his feet, and the 3-on-1 beatdown means Styles can hit another Styles Clash and leave Kevin Owens laying out. 68 isn't a great segment actually, but Garza and Theory are involved, so hopefully it'll help them, but we'll see. Seth Rollins cut a promo on Sami Guevara here, saying Sami needs to stick out of, get his nose out of his business here. If Sami Guevara wants to be taught a lesson, Sami Guevara will be taught a lesson, because next week he has the information that it will be a 6-man tag. It'll be Seth Rollins, it'll be Murphy, and it'll be Shelton Benjamin against Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, and Sami Guevara. And next week, if Sami thinks Seth was lucky, Sami will be lucky to get out of there alive. 71. Good promo from Seth, actually. That's not bad. Right, Kairi Sane came to the ring, challenged Shayna Basler to a matchup. Kairi last week was screwed out of the women's tag team championships alongside Asuka. Shayna trying to screw Asuka out of the championships, but she's also screwed Kairi out of the championships, and I want Kairi to be furious at that. So she comes out to the ring demanding a match with Shayna Basler, demanding that Shayna Basler comes out here, whether it's for the championship or not. But Shayna's confident, and Shayna's happy to put the championship on the line. So we're going to do it tonight, an impromptu Raw Women's Championship match, Shayna versus Kairi, for a 76. So it's done very well. It's done very well. It's a full defense of the title and a clean win here for Shayna. Another victory for Shayna, but with the championship on the line as well, it's just a massive help to her. Itchy arm. 76 from Shayna, 55 from Kairi Sane. So, yeah, Kairi's not got the popularity that she potentially could have, but you can only push so many people, and to get the 76 is great from Shayna. It did come up a penalty notice for this, because apparently it's the 4th time we've done it in the save. We haven't done it for 2 months in the game, but apparently he thought it was too many times. Whatever. Total Extreme Wrestling. But you haven't really punched me too much, so I'll take the 76 and walk away happily. After the match, Shayna just unloads with chair shots on Kairi Sane and Asuka, who was at ringside, and really goes to town on Kairi Sane. Really goes to town with chair shot after chair shot after chair shot, to build Shayna and Asuka even more. That's what we're going for. Cedric Alexander was in action against Akam, and this is an interesting one. Earlier tonight we said that MVP seems to hint that he's put an offer out there to someone to join the Hurt Business, whether it's Cedric, whether it's Apollo, whether it's Akam, or whether it's Razor, or the Hurt, or AOP in general. No one really knows at the moment, but he just added a layer of intrigue to this one. Cedric gets the victory over Akam. I don't mind the Raw Tag Team Champion losing here, because it's a singles matchup. It's an unwritten rule in wrestling that a tag team wrestler is not as good in a singles matchup. It makes logical sense, so we can get away with it. But the victory here is all a distraction from Bobby Lashley. Now, this isn't even a botched distraction. This is specifically he came out to distract Akam. Does that mean Cedric got the offer? That's what I want you to be asking anyway. It's all to build to this triple threat for the Tag Team Championships at Survivor Series. So, yeah, not bad. 63, not bad at all, really, considering you look at the pops and the performances tonight. Aleister Black got a promo on Seth Rollins here, talking about how Seth has got a United States Championship match at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, but he needs to know that he's good enough. He doesn't want the disciples to get themselves involved. So he says, why don't we up the ante? Why don't we make it a cage match? I wanted a gimmick here that fits these two to continue the storyline. They've already had one match together, remember. I wanted a gimmick match, but I just couldn't quite figure out the right gimmick. So we're doing a cage match. I think we've done a cage match a lot already in this save, but we're going to do it here. I don't know. I may change that. If any of you in the comments have got any good ideas. Maybe. Christian is backstage and announces a couple of matches for the pay-per-view. He says, after tonight, Asuka wants revenge, and Asuka will get the opportunity for revenge. It's Shayna Basler versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship at Survivor Series. But this time, it'll be a submission match. Shayna Asuka submission match at Survivor Series. Shayna has already won one big submission match in the save. She beat Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. So she will be the favourite going into this one. Also, he announces that triple threat tag team matchup. AOP versus the Hurt Business versus Cedric and Apollo at Survivor Series. So we do those two and we move on to... Is it main event time? I think it's main event time. I think that should be interesting. So I really think this main event could be the best match we've done potentially in the save, but it'll be up there if not. You've got Roman Reigns, you've got Braun Strowman against Randy Orton and Andrade for an 82. So it's not quite at the top level from what we've done so far, but it's still very good. Very, very good main event. 78 from Andrade, 76 from Orton, 78 from Reigns, and an 84 from Braun. Andrade pinned Roman Reigns on Friday SmackDown, and on Monday, he's pinned Braun Strowman too. Andrade, can you see that rocket attached to him? We're going to shoot it to the moon, because Andrade is the man who's taking the big, big bonuses out of this feud right now. And he gets another victory here. Another victory. We're not going to do a big post-match brawl either. We're going to have sort of Team Raw celebrating the ring, because we want the focus to be on Andrade here. Even Drew McIntyre gives him a nod of respect. This is about Andrade, another big win. 82 to end the show then. Gives us an 80 rated Raw. That's good. That is a very good Raw. We've packed a lot in without doing too much, weirdly. I know that sounds bizarre when you say, but when we did a big 6-man tag with Drew involved, which we knew would be good. But again, there's not a lot to it. It's quite a simple match to do. That was quite good. The 4-on-4, everything was quite good tonight, really. Sami Guevara perhaps his match could have been a bit better, but apart from that, pretty good stuff. So bring on main event. Okay, main event this week kicks off with the number one contender for the Smackdown Women's Championship, Sonya Deville. She cuts a promo on her way to the ring on Sasha Banks, talking about how Sonya Deville left Sasha Banks laying last week, and at Survivor Series, it'll be the same result twice, as Sonya Deville walks away with not only the Money in the Bank briefcase, but the Women's Championship too. 67, good promo from Sonya. She was in action against Bianca Belair for 62, so that's pretty good. 61 from Sonya, 53 from Bianca. For main event, 3-star matchup in your... Well, yes, please. And a win for Sonya, of course. From there, we went to a sort of Raw rewind, you could say. We cut a promo by Drew and the Street Profits. And this is backstage, post-match after the win on Raw. And Drew says that is what Monday Night Raw will be all about. And on Friday, we want to prove it, because SmackDown have put together a team involving 3 men who together can be unstoppable. But we want to prove that they are stoppable. Drew McIntyre says this Friday the challenge is out there. Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits against the New Day. Let's see what happens with that, shall we? Not sure Big E will be happy. 72. Fine. The Artist Collective cut a promo ahead of their matchup tonight. It's Zayn, Cesaro and Elias against Bo Dallas, Otis and Tucker Heavy Machinery. So 6 guys we're not doing a lot with. Put them in a match together. We've actually built it with a promo. 67 for the promo. Good stuff. Everyone did well improvising interactions. You've got 2 good heels on the mic there with Zayn and Elias. Cesaro not as much, admittedly, but Elias is a heat magnet. Cesaro is a heat magnet. So it's good stuff. The match itself, 61. It's a little bit low, that, for me. Bo Dallas and Tucker bring it down a little bit. Elias only a 60. Cesaro only a 63. Zayn 66 and Otis did quite well, but It's a little bit low for me, but the heels get the win. Sami Zayn makes Tucker tap with a Koji clutch, and a good win for Sami Zayn there. Right, we're gonna have. What we got next? I think we've got a promo here from Shayna Basler. My mind went blank. Yep. Shayna Basler cutting a promo on Asuka. She now knows it will be happening at Survivor Series. Shayna says that last month at the pay-per-view, Asuka thinks she made Shayna tap, but that embarrassment has caused Shayna to light a fire under her. And Shayna did walk away with the championship last month, but it wasn't just enough to beat her. She wants to embarrass her. She wants to humiliate her. And that is why at Survivor Series, she will make Asuka submit. 68. It's getting personal with Shayna Baszler. It's getting personal. We've got 4 matches tonight. This is match 3, and this has really killed it, to be fair. So well done, these people, and well done, The Miz in particular. Wow. The Miz and Morrison defeat Truth and O'Neal. This is all about The Miz here. He is #1 contender for the WWE Championship. He's going to be part of the championship match. So The Miz is literally the focus here. He gets the victory, and he really, really enjoys himself out there. 76, good stuff from him. 72. Afterwards, The Miz is asked, well, he gets on the mic and he says that Daniel Bryan, last week he made it clear that he thinks Miz and Bryan need to team together to take on The Fiend at Survivor Series. He wants an answer from Bryan this Friday. 69, good stuff. Okay, your main event is an interesting one. It's Roman Reigns. Now, before we go any further, I should mention that after Raw, I had a message that Roman Reigns has dropped below 71 popularity, and Vincent Kennedy McMahon is not happy. Okay, I fucked up, all right? I fucked up. Roman Reigns has lost a lot of popularity. We need to start getting him win after win again. So, yeah, we're going to put him in the main event and get him involved wherever we can. He's going to defeat Jinder Mahal for 73. So, it's a pretty good main event for main event. This is a former pay-per-view WWE Championship match, if I'm wrong. If I'm right. Not sure. 73, Reigns gets the victory. Simple stuff. And it gives us a 72 rated main event. Might be the best one we've done for a C show. Thank you, Roman Reigns. Thank you, The Miz. Yeah. Okay, this week's NXT kicks off in the ring the same way it ended last week, with the 4 men on Team Keith Lee for War Games. It's Keith Lee, Ivo and Eric, the Viking Raiders back in NXT, and Tommaso Ciampa standing tall in the ring. And they are... It's the first time you see the Viking Raiders back in the ring, really. Obviously, there was last week, but this is the first time they are back, and it's really telling you they are back. And it's announced that this is the team for War Games, 100%. Keith Lee, the Viking Raiders, and Tommaso Ciampa. Out come the Undisputed Era for a back and forth. But the main idea of what we're trying to get here is Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are fuming. They are not happy. They see themselves as the one that ran the Viking Raiders out of here. They see themselves as the NXT tag team. The tag team that's been here from the moment these two step foot in NXT. They watch the Viking Raiders come, and they watch the Viking Raiders leave. They watch the Street Profits come, and they watch the Street Profits leave. And the Viking Raiders think they can come back. No. They say tonight they end the Viking Raiders, and the challenge is made. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish against the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders' first match on NXT since their return. That's what we're going to try and do. This led into Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa being involved in the opening contest, because we want to see if they can team up. We want to see if they can gel. Let's put them in a matchup. They're against Rinku and Sarav, so this might struggle. Depends if Ciampa can carry this, because Keith Lee's not a good carrier, so we'll see what happens. 60 then, so that's not bad. Ciampa at 69 did his best to carry it. 62 Keith Lee, but a 35 and a 37 from Sarav and Rinku. It is what it is. Ciampa was actually off his game. Keith Lee gets the pin. Yeah, the faces win. Nice and simple, confidence building win for the two faces going in to NXT War Games. Takeover War Games. Cool, fine. We did a big segment for the North American Championship. So out came the Broserweights. Now, last week, Pete Dunne defeated Dexter Lumis in that street fight type matchup. So this week, they are happy. They are confident. They are not bragging, but celebrating, you could say. When out comes Johnny Gargano, no Dexter Lumis by his side, selling the injuries from last week. And he is whining. He is complaining about what they did. Again, it's getting Gargano in that North American Championship in the same picture with Matt Riddle, with Pete Dunne, and with Karrion Kross. Now, Kross was attacked by Matt Riddle last week, but he's a monster. He doesn't sell injuries. He doesn't have injuries because he brushes them off like that. He's here and he's in the ring. He can maybe come through the crowd or something, and he's attacking both men. And Matt Riddle gets plunged through a table. Plunged is a new word now, so that's happening. And he gets plunged through a table to end the segment. Pete Dunne helps him to his feet, and it leads to the announcement from Regal that tonight it'll be Karrion Kross versus Matt Riddle in a tables match in the main event. Okay. The tag team champions were in action. Grizzled Young Veterans defeated Kushida and Tony Nese, just two faces we put together for this one. And yeah, they didn't work well as a team, so that's good. Zach Gibson was off his game, but they managed to get a 60 out of it, so I'll take it. 63 from Zach Gibson, carrying it. 59 from Kushida, 53 from James Drake, and a 36 from Tony Nese. You know, he's won a championship match at WrestleMania. Are you sure? Because that is ridiculous. Anyway, Gibson gets the win with a punt. And yeah, good win for the tag team champions. As they're celebrating, they run off, though, and they run through the crowd to escape from Dominik Dijakovic and Bronson Reed for 52. I'm tempted to do the tag team championship match at the pay-per-view. Not made my mind up just yet, but I'm tempted to. The first of the Cruiserweight Championship quarter-final matchups sees Isaiah Swerve Scott lose to Santos Escobar. That's right, Santos Escobar is into the semi-finals. A bridging German suplex following interference from Raul Mendoza for a 44. So that's low, considering you look at the performances and the popularity. But again, this whole pre-show workers, I've just got to keep battling through it. It's getting better, it's getting better, but it's fine. 44. After the match, Isaiah Swerve Scott is beaten down 3-on-1, and we do a big spot. A big spot for a 32. Oh, dear me. Dearie me. Well, it's not worked as much as I was hoping it was, but I've got in my head, and we were talking about this on stream, sort of mid-2000s, Rey Mysterio suffered an injury and had to be written out, and he was taken out by Chavo Guerrero. He was stuck in the stanchion, and chair shot after chair shot after chair shot took out Rey Mysterio. I'm thinking we do similar here. Isaiah Swerve Scott is taken out by Santos Escobar. That's the main thing, and he will write him out for a few weeks at least. And Santos Escobar looks good, but he also potentially sets up a rival going forward. 32. Aish. Shotzi Blackheart. Oh my God. It's got worse. Okay, I knew Shotzi would struggle, and I knew against Marina might not have been the best idea, but a 17 is a ridiculously harsh game. 17. Seriously. They both put in a 31 performance, and you give me a... Shotzi wins. I'm moving on because that's just annoying. That is ridiculous. I may have messed up the order here or skipped one. We'll find out. Roderick Strong is backstage and he's down and he's hurt and he's been attacked. We don't see who. We can guess who, but he's been attacked. We don't see who. Adam Cole, baby. I mean, who? I may have messed up the order there because there's been something gone missing here. There's been something gone missing with Dakota Kai. If it doesn't show up, we'll just do it again next week. It's fine. I don't know where it is. Maybe I skipped it. The Undisputed Era, though, against the Viking Raiders gets us a 73, by the way. Maybe this should have been the main event. I may regret this now. And the Viking Raiders get the win. It is what you would expect as well. They're back in NXT. Let's get them a good, really confidence-building win over a good team. Builds to War Games. No complaints whatsoever. The best man, Bobby Fish. Weird. But yeah, good stuff. 73. Really good stuff. Brian Kendrick cut a promo on Lindsay Dorado ahead of their Cruiserweight Championship quarterfinal tonight. That's coming next. Brian Kendrick says that during the start of his career, when, you know, he went by a different name. He liked to make people laugh. But he was Cruiserweight Champion at one point. Back on Smackdown, really, on 2003-ish, I think it was. Pretty sure he was Cruiserweight Champion. And he says, I've held this belt before, but I didn't understand what it meant. Now I will hold the belt again, and I will show the world that a Cruiserweight will not be held down. 52. Right then, the match itself. It is Brian Kendrick against Lindsay Dorado For a 57, that's not done as well as I thought it would. It's still pretty good for NXT, but not done as well as I thought it would. Lindsay gets the victory. He's through to the semi-finals. So Santos Escobar and Lindsay Dorado both through to the semi-finals of the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. And yes, next week is week 4. So we could do... I don't know. We might do semi-finals and finals at TakeOver, but it might struggle, so it might bring the TakeOver down. I'll have to make my mind up. Lindsay Dorado, though, good win. He's in to the semi-finals. Next week, then, we'll see Oni Lorcan take on Jake Atlas in quarterfinal number 3, and Timothy Thatcher will take on Tyler Breeze in quarterfinal number 4, I think. So, main event time. It's the tables match. Will he beat the 73 of the tag match? I'm not sure. It's Matt Riddle. It's Karrion Kross. Okay, so he definitely beat the 73. That is really good. An 80 rated matchup. Fantastic. Matt Riddle's carried this one, but he lost the match. Now let's talk through it. So Karrion Kross is a monster. This is the sort of match to me he should be winning, but we wanted to make sure Riddle was protected. So during the match, we had Pete Dunne come down to ringside. Pete Dunne was the man who originally had the issue with Karrion Kross, remember? So he comes after Karrion Kross here, but actually he gets Matt Riddle. And the distraction and the confusion allows Karrion Kross to hit the power bomb through the table and win the matchup. Kross leaves celebrating, but it's all about Riddle and Dunne here, and they're starting to have a little bit of course words between the two. This is no North American Championship division, really, and the pressure is high. Will the team survive it? We'll find out. 80, though, really good main event. That could be our best NXT match, potentially. It's up there. That's really good. Gives us a 72 rated NXT. That is really good. Really, really good for an NXT. I'm amazed. NXT UK will not get the same. Okay, NXT UK this week kicks off with an advertised matchup. Toni Storm taking on Lana Austin. We set it up last week. We do the match this week. And it's Toni Storm who gets the victory because I was fearful she'd kick off if I had it any other way. During the match, we also had Scotty Davis distract Lana Austin to protect her a little bit. And it got us a 45. Now, Toni... Yeah, 45 is about right for her, and Lana Austin's 30 is about right. So it's pretty good, actually, for NXT UK, and continues this storyline between the two. Won't be the only time these two have a matchup. We'll continue it now. Lana Austin's got a bone to pick, and she's going to go after Toni Storm, is the idea. She immediately went after it, to be fair, post-match, looking angry about the victory. She sort of hits a clubbing forearm from behind before it's broken up quickly by Scotty Davis at ringside. Toni Storm and Scotty Davis aren't an item. I'm not saying they're an item, but Toni Storm hasn't had an issue with Lana Austin, as had Scotty Davis. So you can make it work. Continuing the women's division action, tag team action here. Zia Brookside and Dani Luna were in action, defeating Martina and Bobby Tyler. It's Martina who gets the victory over Dani Luna to continue Martina and Zia Brookside's issues. Zia doesn't take the victory, doesn't take the pin. 31, it's about the same for the popularities. It's lower NXT UK stuff, which is pretty damn low when it wants to be. So it is what it is. We did a backstage brawling segment where the Mark Andrews and Flash Mug website, I can never remember their team name. They were brawling with Joe Hendry and Eddie Dennis, the tag team champions. They made their title ambitions clear last week, and tonight they're going after the champions. It's broken up, but yeah, 45. Good brawl backstage to that. And then we did Tyler Bate cutting a promo on Volta. I'm worried about what I've put as the main event here because I think I've put it the wrong way around. Damn. Tyler Bate cut a promo on Volta here. He says Volta, he has his mind wrapped into Killian Dane right now, but don't forget about the first ever NXT UK champion because he wants his belt back. Okay, I didn't quite mess it up, so it ain't too bad. Noam Dar is shown backstage struggling to pick up a weight when in walks the Ojmo, who picks it up easily. Again, more embarrassment for Noam Dar. He has another temper tantrum, and he is starting to really, really feel embarrassed by the Ojmo. 26. It is what it is. Main event then is Tyler Bate against Fabian Aichner for 69. So that's really good for NXT UK. Really good, actually. Really, really good. Tyler Bate gets the victory and now potentially could be pushing himself towards the NXT UK Championships. Quite a simple NXT UK this week. A 58 though is good. Yeah, SmackDown. Let's finish this off. Okay, SmackDown this week kicks off with a novel idea. In-ring competition, and what a match too. 82 rated match here between the ring workers, that's Ricochet and Mustafa Ali, against the Artist Collective, Cesaro and Elias. And a big win for the number one contenders, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, Ricochet and Ali. Ricochet with a 78, Cesaro 70, Ali 64, Elias 62. But a great match, a great way to start. Get the crowd popping with an 82. Good stuff. Afterwards, the ring workers get on the mic and start talking about last week, about how the Usos, well, they sent a message, but the message that the ring workers want to send will be dealt with at Survivor Series. The message will be they will be champions, but before they can really continue too much, they're attacked from behind by the champions, the Usos. So a 73 rate segment for that, and a good beatdown by the Usos. Good stuff. We went backstage where Big E is approached by the SmackDown general manager, John Bradshaw Layfield. And JBL says, I've accepted on your behalf. I've accepted the challenge. And tonight it will be Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits against Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and you, Big E. Now, Big E, of course, with his issues with the New Day, isn't keen. And he says, look, I agreed last week I'd be part of Team SmackDown. I didn't agree to become part of the New Day again. I didn't agree to that. I don't want to do it. And JBL says, listen, you've got two choices. You can either tonight wrestle alongside Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, or you can wrestle against Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods with the championship on the line. Your call. Big E reluctantly agrees, a 74-8 segment, and the match is made. Let's see how that goes. Okay, Braun Strowman was in action for an 80-rated matchup against Mojo Rawley. Mojo equals ratings get hyped. No, Braun Strowman with a win. 80-rated performance from him against Mojo to get an 80 is very, very good. Well done, Braun Strowman. A good win for him. He cut to promo after 72. Generic stuff, just sort of saying that at Survivor Series he will dominate and he will make sure SmackDown walks away as the winning brand and gets first pick in the draft. The SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks got a promo on Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville's in action next against Mandy Rose, but Sasha actually puts her over a bit here. She says, look, I respect her. I understand what she can do. She is a big, big threat to my championship reign, but this is not the Sasha Banks of 4 years ago. This is not the Sasha Banks that doesn't retain her title. I've proven that once. I'll prove it again at Survivor Series when I walk away not only as Miss Money in the Bank, but as the SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha Banks with a real message to Sonya Deville. She also says that's the pay-per-view. Tonight, I get a piece of Sonya Deville. She wants revenge for the attack last week. Sonya defeats Mandy Rose, though, for a 65. This is a pretty good match. 56 from Mandy, 61 from Sonya, and we get a 65. So that's good stuff. Everything's been given a boost amount, which is good. And after the match, out comes Sasha Banks. She said it was going to happen, and out they come. They brawl around ringside, but it's actually the champion who gets the upper hand this week. Sonya Deville, she's just wrestled. You can say she's not quite ready for the attack, you could say. And it's the champion, Sasha Banks, who gets the upper hand. Sometimes you have to let the faces win. This is one of those times. It's going to be an interesting match between these two at Survivor Series. I think it'll be really cool. Okay, we got another win for Roman Reigns here against Dolph Ziggler for a 69. This is actually slightly disappointing. A 77 from Reigns, a 58 from Ziggler. Ziggler's really brought it down. As you see, Renee Young did some good work at ringside as the slut heel manager of Dolph Ziggler. There is a story to that. 69 though, yeah, we needed to get Reigns another victory here. We need to build that popularity back up because that's been a big blow. We did miss TV for an 86. The Bray Wyatt machine continues to star on SmackDown right now. Let's talk it through then. So you can have the Miz TV with Daniel Bryan. The Miz wants an answer to whether Bryan will team with him to take out the Fiend at Survivor Series. But it's interrupted by the Firefly Funhouse. Wyatt comes on the screen and says that the Miz and Daniel Bryan, it doesn't matter what you do, because at Survivor Series you will burn for your mistakes. Firefly Funhouse ends. Daniel Bryan says, you know what, Miz, it doesn't matter. He's right. It doesn't matter. What matters is the Universal Championship. So no, I won't team with you because I am out for the championship and the championship only. The heels don't take that well, so a 2-on-1 attack leaves Daniel Bryan down. An attack including John Morrison. We'll continue that. Good matchup here, and the first win as a tag team for Chad Gable and Jeff Hardy. So now that they've got their first win, I officially will take name recommendations, by the way. Officially. They defeat Sheamus and King Corbin here. A good win for Gable and Hardy, and it's Gable who gets the pin. Important to note, the whole point of the team is to get Gable to an upper level, so this is a good start. Jeff 64, Sheamus 63 carried it. Gable was the worst of the lot with the 59, but somehow we've pulled out a 71 there. I don't know how. I'm just happy it happened, and I will take it. Sami Zayn, Cesaro and Elias were backstage for a 74 rated promo, and Sami Zayn is now doing a little bit of a team talk here with the Artist Collective. They lost early tonight, and Sami Zayn says, listen, in 2 weeks time is the WWE draft. Now if we're losing, we're not going to be drafted where we need to be drafted. Whether it's SmackDown or whether it's Raw, we need to be number one. Sami Zayn with a little bit of a like we say, a kick up the arse, I guess, for the Artist Collective, but also it's to make note of the draft and that the superstars are thinking about the draft and that it is important. We're hyping it already. Daniel Bryan's backstage with JBL for 67. Not done quite well here, but Daniel Bryan demands that next week he wants The Miz because tonight he's taking out that long-haired partner of his, John Morrison. JBL accepts and the match is made for right now. It's Daniel Bryan and John Morrison for an 81. This SmackDown is good again. Amazing stuff. And about that good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Bryan defeated Morrison in about 16 minutes by submission. But during the match we had the Miz run in, but he was run off really by Bray Wyatt. The Fiend arrived. The Fiend was here, and Miz went running. Bryan got the victory over Morrison, and it led to a post-match angle. Daniel Bryan and the Fiend go face to face. No actual violence here. The Fiend is just intimidating Daniel Bryan for a 73. Could have been better, but it's not too bad either. Kofi Kingston cut a promo on Big E for 71. Again, pretty good. He says he hopes Big E can put it behind them. They can deal with their issues another time. This is about SmackDown, and tonight they make SmackDown proud. So the match then, it's the New Day back together. I can't believe it. They're reuniting for one night only. Maybe not even a full night. So let's see what happens. It's the New Day versus Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits for a 78. So it's not the best match on the card, but it's probably the most newsworthy match of the card. So I'm not too fussed by that. It's still pretty good for a 78. And as you can see, it's Team Raw, McIntyre and the Profits who win. McIntyre pinning the Kofi Kingston after bad communication between Kofi and Big E, because Big E steps off the apron. Big E walks away. He walks away from the New Day. He wasn't happy. You can say they were arguing throughout the match and Big E wasn't being tagged in and whatnot because they don't trust him anymore. But the Big E decides, no, he's had enough and walks to the back. Big E with a performance of 80, by the way, is really good to see. Kofi 73, Drew 83. But that Big E performance is really, really good. A good sign for going forward. 78. Yeah, it is what it is. Afterwards, we have another big brawl. There's no Big E part of this. He's walked out, but the game changer is still there for SmackDown. The big dog, Roman Reigns. A 79 rated segment, and SmackDown stand tall with Roman Reigns really cleaning house. Gives us a 79. That's not bad. I actually thought it might have been better, but it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. SmackDown has been on a roll for about 3 months in this save. It has been the show to watch. It's better than NXT. It's better than Raw. It's all about SmackDown, and that is how you end an episode. And that's the end of the episode, and ladies and gentlemen, again, I keep saying this, SmackDown is the best show we put on week in, week out. There's no doubt about it. Raw was pretty good. NXT was pretty good as well. So was NXT UK. It's been a good week. hopefully we continue that next week. If you want to watch us live, by the way, if you want to watch this live, this is streamed live on my Twitch channel, which will be in the description below. Drop a follow on it. We're on the road to 50 subscribers. We ended the stream tonight with 48, so you may change that if you follow down below. If not, so as I say, keep subscribing to the channel, and where all of these recaps will be on the channel. And if you like just this sort of stuff, then that's perfect. There you go, job done. Like the video if you like the video. As I say, subscribe to the channel for more. And next week is going to be big. It's the final week before the pay-per-view, with the pay-per-view coming on Sunday. Both of them, Takeover and Survivor Series. Let's get doing it. Until next time, peace.